Court upholds FERC oil pipeline pricing framework. A new federal appellate ruling underscores how difficult it is to unwind long-standing energy pricing frameworks once they are embedded in regulated systems, even when market conditions, technology, or operational realities evolve. For companies operating in capital-intensive energy and infrastructure systems, the decision reinforces a familiar constraint. Pricing and valuation models persist unless challengers can prove they are clearly unjust or unreasonable. What the court decided. On January 23, 2026, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit denied petitions challenging a Federal Energy Regulatory Commission (FERC) order governing how oil quality is valued in the Trans-Alaska Pipeline System (TAPS). In Petrostar Inc. FERC, the court upheld FERC's conclusion that the existing quality bank methodology for valuing low-quality crude oil components remains just and reasonable under the Interstate Commerce Act. The dispute centered on how the heaviest component of crude oil, known as resid, is priced when oil from different producers is commingled in the pipeline. Because resid has no transparent market price, FERC relies on a formula that estimates its value based on hypothetical processing costs and expected outputs. Petrostar argued the formula undervalued resid, while ConocoPhillips argued it overvalued it. The court rejected both claims. Why the existing model survived. The ruling illustrates the high evidentiary bar for overturning established pricing methodologies in regulated systems. The court emphasized several points. Absence of a market price requires estimation, not precision. A rate can be just and reasonable, even if it is not the only reasonable approach. Disagreement among sophisticated parties does not itself establish unlawfulness. After years of administrative proceedings, expert testimony, and multiple remands, the court concluded that challengers failed to demonstrate that the existing methodology had become unjust or unreasonable in practice. In effect, the decision confirms that longevity, regulatory approval, and internal consistency matter more than theoretical alternatives when courts evaluate energy pricing frameworks. Tariff compliance still matters. While the court upheld the valuation framework itself, it also affirmed FERC's finding that the TAPS Quality Bank Administrator violated the tariff by testing oil properties without updating the valuation formula accordingly. That distinction is important. Even as courts defer to established methodologies, they expect strict adherence to filed tariffs. FERC ordered prospective changes to align testing frequency with formula updates, reinforcing that process. Discipline matters even when outcomes remain unchanged. Why this case resonates beyond oil pipelines. Although the case arises from oil pipeline regulation, its implications extend across energy and infrastructure systems, increasingly shaped by embedded models and assumptions. For operators and investors, the ruling reinforces that. Pricing and cost allocation frameworks are difficult to unwind once institutionalized. Regulatory systems prioritize stability over responsiveness. Challenges must show real-world harm, not just model imperfections. For companies facing rising energy demand, evolving technology, or changing load profiles, the case is a reminder that misaligned assumptions can persist long after conditions change, unless actively addressed through governance, not litigation alone. A supporting signal in a broader theme. Within the context of growing energy demand and system strain, Petrostar v. FERC illustrates a parallel risk. Systems designed under earlier assumptions tend to endure. Whether in pipeline tariffs, grid planning models, or demand forecasts, the hardest moment to intervene is after a framework has been validated, codified, and relied upon for years. That reality is increasingly relevant as energy systems absorb new forms of demand faster than regulatory and pricing structures can adapt. You've been listening to Sustainability Soundbites by Environment and Energy Leader. For partnership opportunities, please reach out to our team.